Hey everyone, it's Dale from the WebPub class, and I wanted to record a couple of tutorial videos to walk you through the basics of HTML that we've covered in class, just in case you need a refresher or you have something that is driving you crazy or that you can't figure out. So here we go. These are the real basics, nuts and bolts of how to create an HTML document. First things first, I'll start with what HTML means. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So again, we are taking regular words and we are adding markup language to them through HTML. So it allows us to do things like include images, make them bold, add links. That's where the hypertext comes into play. So this is not a programming language, it is a markup language. We are surrounding text with code to tell a browser what the text should look like when it shows those words inside the browser file. So, as we mentioned in class, everything in HTML will have tags, and every tag that opens will have a tag that closes. So the most basic of all tags is the HTML tag. So you'll notice I just opened an HTML tag and I closed the HTML tag. Everything going in my HTML document here will go between that open HTML tag and the closing HTML tag. Then we have two basic parts of an HTML document. We have the head and we have the body. So you'll notice I'm opening these tags and then I am closing them, so I can continue to work on from that point and know that I've already opened and closed. Inside of the head, this is information that is important for the website to know and possibly search engines, things like that. You won't necessarily see a lot of this stuff on the page or the site itself when you look at it. There is one exception, and that's the thing we're going to focus on right now. You want to give your HTML document a title, so I'm just going to say Dale Blasingame website, and I'm going to close that title. So again, if I go, let me minimize this. If I save this, so I'm going to go to File and Save As, I'm going to load this as index.html because it is the very first document of my site, and that therefore it needs to be index.html. That is how a browser will automatically look for the index.html as the main homepage. It's always a good idea to click on this little triangle there to open up more options in terms of where you're going to save this. And remember, we want to save everything into the same folder. So when I go to save for this first time, I'm going to create a new folder on my desktop, and I'm just going to call it Dale Website. So here is the folder right now, and then I want to save my index.html inside that Dale website. So now I can load a browser. So I use Chrome. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go to File, Open File. I'm going to go to my desktop, click on the Dale website, and open that index.html. And it might look like we have nothing in here, that something didn't work, but it actually did work, because if you notice up here, this is the title we put in. So we are good to go. Everything is working. We are now viewing this file through a browser. So any change we make in this document, once we save and we refresh here, you should see the changes. So all the content on your site is going to go inside these body tags. So you've got the body open tag and the body close tag. We have a couple of different options when it comes to content. We have the P tag, which stands for paragraph. So this is content on your site, and you use the P tag when you want it to look like a paragraph. Okay, so I need to close that P tag, and one real quick reminder, you can see as I type that paragraph, it's just going to keep typing. If you want to keep everything within this white panel, go to View, Text Display, and Soft Wrap Text. So now you'll see it wrapped it around. So again, if I just do a Command S and save this, and now refresh here, you'll see that the content that I just wrote in there now shows up in the file as content. I mentioned that there are two different types. There are also things called headers. So the biggest header, there are 6 types of headers, H1 through H6. H1 is the biggest, H6 is very tiny. So if you want a headline or something along those lines, you would probably use something like an HTML, or I'm sorry, an H1 tag. And I'm going to say, welcome to my website. I'm going to close that H1, I'm going to save, and I'm going to refresh, and now you see I have a headline there. So this is the absolute most basic work you can do within an HTML document, but you have in a sense created a website now. So now you can go about adding more content, adding more paragraph tags, potentially adding some subheads with maybe an H2 or an H3, and you're well on your way to your first web page, your first website, and so on. Just make sure when you open tags, you close tags, save frequently. Every time you make a change, go ahead and save and check it in the browser so you can check your work as you go along. That way you don't do a lot of work and then you have an error somewhere along the way and you're stuck trying to go through all 20 things that you just did. Save frequently, check frequently, and you can get going working on your content from this point.